Hello, this is a reading for Taurus for 2024. We're doing a whole series here of readings for all the signs, and you can check those out exactly where you found this one. We're also streaming this live, so you'll hear me talking to the chat a little bit if I look up from the cards. And we're just going to get some kind of a something for you for the year 2024. We do this every year, so might as well do it again. There's messages. There are messages for you. There's a message for somebody in particular about letting something happen or letting something play out. That was just before I pressed record. I pulled some cards just to see where things were going, and it looked like there was something like you have an instinct for the timing of things this year that not a lot of people have, and there's something for you in that. To lean into that a little bit this year for a particular reason. There's something coming up where that will come in real handy. Your ability to gauge timing. It was all centered around the Wheel of Fortune. It's so funny. We've been getting very similar cards. We did the first 6 readings already, and then we just took a big long break. So now you're getting me not hangry, which is good. We did before this, we did Capricorn, and I think I was a little bit hangry for that reading. So you can check that out if you want to know what I'm like when I'm hangry. But I'm all fed, rested up. The Hierophant came out, and that was the card that came out. That sound is Dirk. Sometimes he walks around and he just kind of moans while he's walking around. I think he's all right. I'm trying to keep calm. I'm trying to keep my cool. There's something about a Taurus trying to keep their cool. I see the Hierophant. I just see like, it's kind of a lot like church or that somber, like not all churches are this way, but this one is particularly, that kind of honoring. It's a very controlled environment, and it's like trying to keep your cool for the sake of the environment. 2024. Will you be in a place where you're required to be a bit more formal? Like a formal environment. I don't know, maybe you're getting married and maybe you're a little rough around the edges and maybe you got to dress up nice. That could be somebody. I'm sensing that for somebody. Taurus for your sun sign, your moon sign. I don't know. However you take these messages, people can use them however they'd like. And I'm sure your system is just as good as any. And the Wheel of Fortune was the other card. So I'm getting a confirmation that what I was reading before I press record is kind of coming back and right away. There's a motion to things. There's a formality. And it looks like you are kind of practiced at. You've been in this for a while. There's something you've been in for a while. You already have this experience. I don't know if you're fully perfect at where you're at, this more formal environment. Like you kind of know how to fit in. And there's something about timing that's like reading between the lines. Like it could be, this does feel like a little bit like certain types of channeling energy, like psychic energy. I can relate with this, that there are certain types of channels that I recognize as there are a lot of rules. Like you have to be, I just had a flash of a dream that I had. And that's cats, just so you know. It's getting to pre-zoomy. That's them upstairs. They're going a bit bananas, so there. Don't mind the rumbles, that's the cats. I can relate with this where it's the rules being a little bit more you read between the lines. Like there's something about gauging based on reaction. That sometimes I can tap into a certain kind of energy where it feels fleeting, and it's very strict. I had a dream where I went into another world, where it was strict like this. There were a lot of rules, and I've had a couple of dreams. I've entered into this world a few times in 2023 in my dreams, and I could say I've traveled there a couple of times, you know. I don't really know all the rules, but I do know that there are rules. And so when we know that there are rules, and we know that there is kind of like a formality to things, we tend to be reserved or on our best behavior, trying our best to be on our best behavior. Even if we don't know exactly what the rules are, we might slip up a little bit. We might find ourselves bumping into, you know, making mistakes. At the same time, there's something about the effort that you're making to follow the rules in a formal environment, or an environment where there are formalities. The 9 looks to me like, especially at this point, I've always noticed that in this deck, the 9 of Wands the wands are displayed as almost trophies. Like there might even be like pictures on your wall, or you have something on display that marks your experience in this environment. And that is so funny because there's a picture on my wall over there that it's a painting, it's a print of a painting that my friend did. And he did it because I was describing a dream I was having. I described an experience I had, and it was like a dream/waking thing. And he then went and painted this painting to describe it. And then he made a print of that painting, and he framed it for me and gave it to me as a gift. And today I went, and it was kind of, I straightened it. This isn't going to be psychic energy or dream for everybody, but for some of you it might be, and for others of you it might be something that it's something worth noting. It's something worth honoring, that you've been to this place and you've learned a little something about how to navigate here. Somebody just noticed it's 11:11 in Central Time Zone. Well, now it's 7 minutes later, but I just looked up at the chat and there I see it now. Ace of Cups. And the Chariot. Okay, and the last is so funny. We're getting a lot of like links between the readings with these key cards. The key card in the Capricorn reading was the Chariot. It was that you're getting a car, you're getting a vehicle, you're getting a new car, or that was like, but it's a company vehicle, so you're expected to do work with it. I'm seeing if this is the spiritual thing, I feel like it branches off, but this is like, you will be made aware in 2024 that you are welcome in a formal environment, because you'll be allowed to come and go as you please. You might be a little rough around the edges, but they like you. The Ace of Cups, you've got the heart. And it's the heart that counts. The formality is kind of maybe something else. There's all kinds of reasons why things are the way they are. The formality is there, and it's not as if, maybe sometimes tradition is hard to break, and so this environment is just this way because that's the way it's been for a really long time. It might have served some purpose before, and now it's just kind of preserved because that's the nature of the environment. To come and go as you please. It's like a pass, a day pass. You get a day pass to go somewhere, to see somebody. I'm really feeling compelled with the Queen of Cups to describe my dream. I had this dream that I went to this place where you could visit people you've lost touch with, and you don't know if they're alive or dead, and you probably will never find out, and you have a chance to go and say goodbye to them. And it's kind of like an in-between where you don't have to know that they've passed on. So you're going to visit the spirit of them that exists in you. And that will always exist, whether they're alive or dead. And I went to this place to go visit someone in particular. And I actually was allowed to drive my car, which is really cool. They let me drive in. Everyone else had to walk in, but they let me drive in because I was only allowed to go to that one place. I wasn't allowed to roam around free. And I had this impression like I wasn't supposed to be there in my dream. And I see this as a parallel, like I'm basically getting a reenactment of my dream for Taurus. So maybe pay attention to your dreams this year because, you won't be able to not remember dreams like this. And you might resonate with the idea that you've had a few of these pretty impactful dreams where you kind of become aware that there's a lot more going on in the psychic world than maybe what you'd originally thought. And you might not consider yourself to be prepared to fit into such environments. A little rough around the edges. Knight of Wands is coming across to me as if it's like somebody who was born into perceiving and knowing this energy. It's striking me as like a rich kid. Like, yeah, they might be able to romp around and they know all the rules and they don't have to follow all the rules. And that's cool. Be prepared to encounter energy that seems to flow through it more effortlessly than you. The Lover's card. And it's the choice that you make. It doesn't matter how well you know how to fit into the environment. It's all about the choice you make in your heart. Taurus, this is very sappy. What's going on, Taurus? What are these strange liquidy beads falling from my eyes? Taurus doesn't have a problem crying. I feel like this is somebody who has gotten used to holding a brave face in a certain environment, because it kind of strikes me as like rich kid and like somebody who grew up a little bit more like I did, like working class, where you're in an environment where there are people who just they know how to move around in this world, and you kind of make a bunch of mistakes and you're a bit clumsy in the environment because you don't know, which fork belongs for what, course of what meal, but you're being invited to sit at the table, that energy. And the reason why you're welcome isn't because of how well you follow the rules, although it shows that you want to fit in, that you don't want to cause trouble by trying. It's that you're trying to follow the rules that shows what's in your heart. Somebody who knows how to follow the rules and they even know where you can break the rules, that's somebody who was raised in that environment. There's something to love about them too. Who is this for? What is this about? Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups talking to each other. It's like somebody's invited the employee to the executive lounge. Like in the end. Oh, and now I'm hearing the Titanic. Maybe a little bit with the recorder version. You're being honored for your work this year in 2024, Taurus. I don't know if you feel like really, you know how to dress up nice. You can put a suit on. Maybe we said that thing about Capricorn's new car. It's maybe not the newest thing, but maybe it has curtains in the windows, but it's definitely yours and it rolls and it goes from point A to point B. So it's good enough. And there's something about like, you might show up and you're, you know, I'm not saying you're not rich, but if you are a little bit, identify as a little bit more like working class, you might pull up in the parking lot, nothing but Benzes and stuff, and you've got your, you know, Corolla. I don't know, just trying to illustrate here what this is. It's showing up to a different environment. You're trying to, you've been here before, you're trying to fit in. There are people much younger than you who are way better at fitting in than you are. But the fact that you try is charming enough. It shows what's in your heart. You know, you understand that there are rules. I don't know if anybody understands why these rules exist. Actually, maybe one of the reasons why the rules exist is for the purpose of excluding people. It's like there are these unwritten rules in these class environments, these like upper class environments, exactly because the only people who would know those rules inside and out are the people who were already raised in it. It's a way of keeping the wealth in the family kind of thing. Whereas they've invited you to come in to honor you for something. They want to honor, there's the world here. You've done something very important to serve the, and I don't want to say overlords, but really I might be reading about a specific event, or I might be actually reading about you're going to have like access to an environment, like free reign, like run of an environment that is I think it's temporary. It feels temporary. It feels like for a period of time with the Wheel of Fortune and the World card. It'll start and it will end. There will be a period of time where you have access to this environment. And it's like you'll be on your best behavior. Specifically be on your best behavior with these brat kids. I'm sorry, the brat kids. They're, you know, the ones who are born into this world, who have all the knowledge. They know how to follow the rules. They even know how to break the rules. They look cool doing it. You're maybe a bit awkward trying to figure things out. But yet you're the one being honored, Taurus. And that's not like, oh, you know, because they're important. They're oh so important and they're honoring you. That makes you important. You're important anyway. It doesn't matter. But I just see you in an environment where this person is supposed to be the heir to what is happening. And for a period of time, you're the one who's being honored. And it's like an instead, like you're both a part of things. There's something lovable about both of you. They want to pass their wealth on to their children, for example, but they also value your heart. The doors are opening because this is maybe a little part of what happens here, is that they open the door to you for a little while. They let you in and you get a sense of what's going on here enough to understand what's happening in this dynamic specifically. You're to observe something. You're to wait. There's timing here. There's a period of time where you're going to have an opportunity to observe a dynamic between, it's like father and son, or CEO and successor. CEO, that's not the right word. Owner and successor. I could be speaking to somebody who they're in the line of work of like evaluating something. And it's kind of strange it's like puts you in a position where you have people almost, you're observing people who could crush you in this environment, but they don't. It could also be something like you're being asked to teach this young energy here something. I just feel like you're to be exposed to this young energy. You're to evaluate this young energy. They've brought you in. It could be that there's a recognition that this Knight of Wands energy, this kind of like, they know all the rules, they follow all the rules, but do they have the heart? And there's this Hierophant here who values your heart. And so I can almost like deduce like, yeah, they have the heart too. They would need to have it to see it. Ace of Cups kind of confirms it. And I'm seeing like can you teach someone who's grown up privileged to choose their heart, to follow their heart, or to follow your heart for a while to help them connect with theirs? I don't know. There's these two people talking over here, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords. You know, I kind of get like just royal family, you know, like, and these are like, it's like mother and aunt, and it's like, I don't know what to do about this kid. He's going off the rails, and here you come in to kind of help guide someone who wasn't given a fair shot, actually, which is strange to say. There's something that privilege does to people. We all have it. And some people have it in more extreme versions than others. And it looks like it would take somebody without that privilege to kind of recognize it, because everybody's so in it. And this person might be so good at following all the rules and everything. It's really hard to pick out what it is that, what did they miss? What did they miss out on? In all the business that was going on, how did this person get free from the, it's like they fell through the cracks. And here you are, granted access to this household for a period of time, almost as like a someone who's going to guide a young energy. That's a pretty specific story. So let's take that as just basically the structure of things, that 2024 for you might be about entering into environments where you normally don't belong because you have something of value to offer. There's something that you gain or that you have gained in an environment where you do belong that other environments are lacking in. And it's almost consulting. This looks like consulting, like maybe, or counseling, something like that, but a very specific kind. The King of Wands. They want this person to grow up with integrity. Ooh, this is kind of controversial. It's kind of like sending your kid to poor camp. I'm sorry. I get a bit annoyed by these little things here where it's like, you know, it's like people who go and get their photos taken with children in third world countries, like what you would call a third world country. Meanwhile, what is a third world country? And where did we get that term from? And where does that term lead? But it's like, go get your picture taken with, and go see what it's like to live like that for like a month, and then come back and like back to your comfortable environment, and like then you'll know. It's like bit colonial, bit more like then you'll know how how to pretend as if you know, kind of thing. A little bit better. And maybe that's the best we can ask of somebody like this, is to just kind of have some exposure to different culture or different class. At least enough to maybe awaken some kind of integrity or some kind of awareness that it's like there's this woman here, and it could be a woman, it could be anybody, a feminine energy, these queens, this very it's like balancing masculine energy. Kind of feels like oh, we got that card yesterday, the anima animus. It's kind of like that. It's like this when things are kind of imbalanced, when somebody is using the power of their assertiveness to assert themselves as above it all, when they could be using the power of their assertiveness to stand firm in their values. And you're just a guiding force. Or maybe you're going to be a driver for somebody with a car. I don't know. There we go. How does this play out for you? I think the message for you is about wait. There's timing here, and one thing that you do have on your side is timing, because it's like you know how far you can push things. There's something about you, you're very perceptive, and you know what someone can handle. You can sense someone's heart. You're very good at picking up on what's in their heart. It looks, see the 6 of Cups. If this is like their mother, and you're guiding a child, like maybe it is like misguided youth or something, right? And you're trying to steer them back toward what's in their heart. Meanwhile, something has broken their heart. You're very good at finding the heart, getting to the heart of the matter, it looks like. And this might be what we've lost touch with in this environment. This environment maybe created the scenario where someone lost touch with their heart, and it's kind of really hard for somebody to heal in the same environment where they got hurt. But I do see a genuine effort to honor your ability to do this. I see that there's love here, even though there's just, it kind of stinks of wealth. It stinks of, classism or classist, like a, ugh. I don't mean to say it's smelly, but it is, because, I've always had that saying that if anybody has enough money to solve world hunger for a period of time, and they're not doing that, they're evil. Like if you have enough money where you could express it in how many days could you end world hunger with your net worth, then that's just inherently plain evil. That's just my opinion. So I'm sorry. I'm getting kind of... But this environment, you're better than I wouldn't be able to operate in this environment. And maybe you have what it takes to do it. It takes a certain kind of strength, and also like a certain kind of willingness to work in a strange system. There's a strange set of rules, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to step on some toes, but it seems like your willingness to try is going to get you through, because they need you here for something else. They don't need you here to be, really good at following the rules. They need you to help them. Save them. Like they don't know what to do. There's this kind of like, you are Taurus this year. You are someone who is presented with a very unique challenge. For a period of time. And it's to demonstrate It's to find someone's heart. It's to see past someone's broken heart and to show them, to help them come into their maturity. It's something like that. So you may have a child, or you may be an uncle or an aunt, or you may be just a relative, or it could be that you're hired to do this, or even if it's more like there's a company you work for and you're put with the boss's child to work with them, and it's you specifically because you're the one who has the task of steering this person in the direction of maturity. Whatever it is, they don't know what to do. Seven of Cups confirms that. They've talked about it. They've tried all kinds of things. There've been much advice has been given, and it's like you're like their last hope almost. I like this storyline. It's fun. Where does it go for you? What is the message for you in this? Am I ready to give a message like this? Let me just take a sip of my coffee, do a little bit of pretending like I'm considering whether or not I'm going to say it. Pretending like I'm considering the there's no consequences that we need to worry about. Taurus. This is powerful. What do you have here is a position. What you're being given here, basically like they need your help. But there's something reading between the lines here. This is an empire that's about to fall. It's not that there's anything wrong with you or that you aren't amazing for being able to enter into a brand new environment like this that you've never really, that you didn't grow up in, that you weren't a part of, and that they know enough about your heart that they trust that you're the one to help save them out of this situation. What it is that if this system, if this company, if this family, if this hoarder of wealth environment is at their last resort and relying on someone from outside to come in and hopefully solve a problem, because if this doesn't work, there's between the lines, if we just keep that sentence going, if this doesn't work, we're doomed. There's something like, save us. And we have our heart. We have our heart. And we have our heart reaching out even to, people see our heart. This environment, there are people, like I'm just going to say rich environment. They hire you because they know you have a heart. They value your heart. They honor your heart. That must mean they have a heart too. Absolutely. Right? They wouldn't be able to see it if they didn't have it. And they're completely relying on you. Take this as a message, like just maybe the message, the kind of like what comes out of this story, just storytelling here, and whatever comes out of it is your message for 2024. Not that all of this stuff is going to happen specifically, although it might. They're completely relying on you to help them continue a system that fails to develop hearts. What's the right thing to do here? Somebody might argue, well, I'm paid to help guide this kid toward adulthood. I'm paid to hopefully improve the situation a little bit so that this person doesn't become a tyrant. Mm-hmm. Or maybe there's something here in the Six of Swords. This person, whoever this is, this energy, this young energy that's not conforming, they know how to conform just enough to perform the ritual of belonging, but they don't perform the key task. And what's the key task is something that they expect you to teach. And what you're going to do maybe you're going to be hired, maybe. That's what I'm seeing. That you don't have or that they don't have what you have, and you're going to teach them what you have. What is it, work ethic? And that this person doesn't have the work ethic to continue to carry the legacy of a system that hoards wealth. And they would like to go down into the gallows and get one of those good workers to come and show this disobedient child how to hoard wealth again. And I know that that's kind of really specific. But I'm not kidding that the falls of empires look something like this from a certain angle. That if you identify as more working class than upper class, or, rich, wealthy, these are the types of positions you're going to see popping up. These are the types of things there's one thing that they don't have down, and it's that they miss something important, right? Systems that value wealth over the heart eventually will fail. And they'll fail along lines like this. You'll end up in a position, if you have been raised in a system that values the heart above wealth, you'll end up being called at some point to serve the wealthy, the one thing that you have. Now, I have my opinion about what you should do with that, but don't let me tell you what to do. If the pay's good and you need the money, do what you got to do. But why stop now? This is an energy of a successor gone rogue. This is the indication that the empire will fall if things are allowed to play out. It might feel really good to be asked by those you've always kind of felt lesser than to serve them. And they might even put on that they really admire you and they love you. And all of a sudden they let you in and they let you walk around and they let you drink fancy champagne and they let you eat fancy food and they feed you and they give you all kinds of lovely prizes. And they give you all the things that they'd hoarded for themselves right at the moment when they're about to lose the one thing they value. See, they don't see a heart in you. They see work ethic in you. And work ethic for you is a matter of the heart. Work ethic for them is a matter of hoarding wealth. And so it might seem like they're after your heart. You might interpret that you're here to help guide someone toward their heart. But the reality is you're here to help guide them back toward a work ethic that's needed. That's what you share in common with people like this, is a work ethic. That's about it. And if you have it in you, Taurus, I'm going to ask you to do something with this energy, because I'm seeing the cards and I can't keep quiet anymore about this stuff. Because 2024 is about this stuff changing. If you get presented an opportunity that feels a little bit like this, try to remember that if it's a good opportunity that's good for the heart, it's something that can wait. It's something that you can pass up on for now. These scenarios where there's just this misguided child who just needs a little bit of heart. It's a very colonial perspective, and we bought into it a little bit too much to consider ourselves free from it. This is the idea that, anybody can be shaped into a person of integrity with the right amount of schooling. It stinks. This stinks. Look out for these things and make the choice that's right for your heart. Please help topple the system, Taurus. That's all I have to say. The toppling the system involves don't help them keep it going. There we go. That was a really surprising reading. I wasn't expecting that at all. This is like all the readings. I haven't been expecting any of this, but this one especially, I think Taurus energy is here is actually, it's a lot like the Aries energy that's just kind of looking, just kind of showing up and seeing something happening. Not really saying anything. Don't give away the only thing they can't steal from you. Well, anyway, on that note, happy 2024. Check out the other readings if you're looking for a little bit more variety in the message. This is definitely like an eat the rich type thing. Peace on earth. And if you want to come check out our streams, come to the stream in Twitch. It's sometimes, if you follow, then it sends you a thing whenever we're online. A couple times a week, if not a few. Thanks so much and take care.